Welcome to An Aries and Pisces Walk Into a Coffee Shop, the podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brigitte, she, her.
And I'm Tiffany, she, her. This is a podcast where two friends let go of perfectionism and talk unedited. You can find us at the links in our show notes.
Support the show by buying us a coffee. Also, subscribe and share this episode with a friend.
Find out.
I was just going to say that. Let's fuck around and find out. I feel like that I'm trying to adopt that as my motto.
Mm-hmm.
Like this week, I settled on the phrase, I have as much fun as I can on my life journeys.
Oh, I like that.
And I've been thinking about that as the whole the rest is resistance thing, and the joy is resistance, and I'm just trying to hold on to those.
Yeah, mine is all of that, but right now in this particular moment, art as resistance is what keeps on playing in my head, because I think that, well, I know that when I am feeling overloaded, I tend to slow down, and I know I'm getting better when I can speed up again. I have friends that are the opposite, where when they're overloaded, they go, and then they know that they're processing better when they're able to slow down. But I'm the opposite. And I have stuff to do. I have commitments I made that are just their dates set on the calendar already, and that's what it is. And yesterday I had a show, and I just thought, well, art as resistance, and just show must go on. I'm going to show up, I'm going to put on a face, and we'll see. And it was very interesting data, because I was feeling bad and my makeup didn't feel like it was correct. You know those days where you start putting on makeup and it just, nothing's laying right? And I'm like, who gave me this skin? And why is it like this? I didn't ask for this skin. And I was just so frustrated, and it was so weird. I got the most compliments on my makeup. By people that are complimentary typically, but I didn't. It felt like I was fishing for compliments, except I didn't know fishing. The fish just leapt out at the river and hit me in my face. I was just thinking fuck this makeup, fuck this face. I should have drank more water. And then I just kept on getting compliments, and I was just like, oh, I don't know what I look like. I don't know what skills I have.
Yeah.
And I thought that show was going to feel discombobulated. Bridget, it felt the best it's had since we started doing it. This is the one that repeats. This was the best run.
Wow.
Vibes immaculate. The backstage antics were unhinged. Everyone, it's a show full of clowns. And so everyone's coping mechanism is absurdity. And it was just unhinged and weird and funny. And the audience was just so ready to be there and laugh. We were sold out. They were so warm. And it was the best the show's felt. And I really thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to pull this off. It's going to feel weird. It felt the best.
This is what I'm like. Oh, so I was struggling with this the other day of okay, here I am. I'm doing what I have scheduled to do. I'm releasing a podcast. I'm doing this thing. And I'm like, this doesn't feel like what I should be doing. And then I was like, but I committed to it, and I'm going to do it anyway. And then I realized, I was like, oh no, this is what we need.
Yeah.
This is what, everyone need. This is what we need.
It made me reflect too, excuse me, that the life that we've built is so different now.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends was saying that we're more than we were, and that felt like a really cool way to think about it.
Yes, this is exactly what I was saying this the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, if I think back to myself in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
like I am so completely different. I have such a strong foundation now, and community and resources and sense of self and trust, and like that I didn't
Mm.
have that back then.
Ooh,
Like,
and conviction. I feel like a lot of
yeah,
us have a conviction
yeah.
that we have nurtured. And so, good data points to have. I have, in fact, had to lay down a lot,
Yeah.
but that's typical for me. Because I was telling another friend, like, part of the problem is I haven't fully. Oh, we got friskies. So if you hear a clatter, it's a frisky.
A Scrabble.
Yeah, if you hear a Scrabble, it's a frisky. The weather shifted. It's beautiful outside, so Ingrid's lit. We had a couple of gloomy days,
Yeah.
and the sun finally came out, so she's wild today. What was I saying? I was talking about something.
A friend, something, I think.
Resources, a friend, community, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Tell
I like
me.
I like your mug.
Oh, thank you.
I was looking at what was on it.
My partner got it for me on a whim. We went to a tea shop and I saw the box for it and I went like that. And they were like, picked it up and they're like, excuse me, how much is this? And bought it for me on the spot. It has a
Excuse
bunch of
me.
witch stuff.
Excuse me, we must have this.
Yeah, I mean, this little hand of
Yeah.
protection with an eye, and then it has all these autumn leaves and a key, which makes me think of Hecate. And I love this little bug in a crystal ball. And then my favorite animal, the owl, a little poison jar, a little love potion jar. We got a tarot card with a heart on it, a little cat with haunted eyes, which I love, a little time glass that's day and night, and a little snake.
It's very nice.
This is all the
That's
magic. It has little lightning bolts and stars on it.
that's a very good mug.
Yeah, it's my favorite, I think, which is, oh, and it has crystals on the side too. I forgot. Over there. Crystals. So, oh, and it has a little sun and moon detail on the inside. I love it,
Oh,
an inside detail on a
yes.
mug. It makes me
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
So I love it. It came from a shop that is their mission is to be like a third space that's not alcohol based.
Mm.
So they're a tea shop that's open late into the night. And it's very queer and artsy and has a bunch of like really beautiful things for sale. Lots of tea blends, a whole wall of tea so you can actually see what the tea looks like. And comfy couches and high stools, so like variety.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just short distance from me, across from my grocery store.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah,
like a delight.
it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like my neighborhood a lot.
Hmm.
I'm really glad. Actually, that was something else I was thinking about. I'm really glad I moved here because 2016 me was in Indiana.
Hmm.
And it was this weird juxtaposition where I was in a liberal part of Indiana where all the shop fronts had rainbow flags and they talked about loving queer people. But
Hmm.
all the residential area around me had signs that were signaling the opposite of that. And that was confusing for me and devastating. Ah, I almost lost you. I'm precariously, I had to be by a window
Stuff.
for mental health reasons. And so I'm precariously balancing you on a windowsill, and that almost didn't go well. Sorry about it. But this neighborhood feels great. Everything feels aligned. It seems like I'm surrounded by like-minded folks, which is helpful to me because I can leave my house and feel like
Yeah.
I can breathe a little easier.
Yeah, that is something that I really want. And that was something that I was thinking about also too this week of the like I would love
Mm-hmm.
that. I would love to be surrounded by like-minded people. And then also the um that thought of like, but it's very apparent that this state needs people like me.
Yeah, I've had
Uh,
that thought so often. How are you?
Oh,
Okay, yeah, your face looks like how I felt because for years I didn't leave Ohio and I kept having that thought of like, well, if I leave and everyone like me leaves, then what?
right.
And then I sort of justified it by how did I? It took me a long time, but it kind of became a well, I just had to admit my stamina wasn't the same. And I
Yeah,
was like, well, I'm not going to be any good here if I'm this sad.
yeah. I think that's like what I'm thinking, right? Is that like you got to be in an environment and like rested and taken care of and supported in order to be able to do the things that are going to make change. And so I that's why I feel like I'm like, no, this isn't the place for me. And like, who knows, maybe it is the place for me later on or something. But I do feel like I'm like, I need to go be in a place where I feel like I like truly like belong and can be like the full expression of myself um and then like see what happens out of that, right? Because like
Right.
here as it stands, right, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like I
Yeah, that's a really good point too, because I feel like all the people that I really admired that did work in Ohio either came from somewhere else, so they learned things from other places and brought it to Ohio, or they traveled quite a bit
mm,
and like learned, grew, and then came back to implement what they had learned
mm-hmm,
to the space, or they were people that just had generations of family from that area, and so there was like the support network that they could draw on, whereas like my family moved there when I was young, and it's like my nuclear family and that's it.
oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like I
yeah,
didn't have a
yeah,
big
same.
support
Yeah,
system
same.
to draw on, and that I think helped me realize that I was trying to be someone and do something without the proper resources, and there was a lot of shoulds, which is just
Mm-hmm.
demoralizing. And this is a little bleak but true. There's problems literally everywhere. So I'm
Yeah.
like, wouldn't I rather be in an area with a community and chosen folks that I feel supported and surrounded by and deal with the issues there than have to deal with issues and not
Yeah.
have that?
Yes. Yeah. I get yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
I'm with you
Um,
there.
and strangely, guess it's not that strange. I chose these people for a reason. A lot of the people in my communities are of marginalized identities, cross sections of that. And a lot of them are like, you know what? I'm strangely okay. And I have some optimism. And I know how
Mm-hmm.
that sounds. But
Mm-hmm.
to the point I said earlier, my friend was like, well, we're more than we were.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we have a community that a lot of us didn't have before. And that's been really cozy. It feels like a
Yeah.
swaddle where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, right. People that have even more marginalized identities than me are feeling like I'm not surprised, and neither are they, but they're just like, well, I know who to rely on. Like, I know,
Hmm.
like, we've been doing this work already, and there's a definite heft of fear for the casualties that might ensue, but we also like know what to do. We've been
Right.
doing it.
Right. And we're going to keep doing it. And now we can keep doing it in a way that we weren't able to do the things before, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
without the resources or community.
that does feel like a lot more hopeful to me as well. The other day I said that this is how you know that I'm a nerd. I was like, well, what I was thinking of was Star Wars
Mhm.
Rogue One, where that's the one where they steal the plans to blow up the Death Star.
Oh, yes. Hmm.
And like that whole situation, very shitty. Everyone's like, we're all going down with the ship. There's nothing we can do. But they got what they needed so that, that the rest of the team could move forward and like eventually, do the thing. And I think that's a big theme of Star Wars, right? Is like holding on to hope.
Hmm.
And I was also reminded of, I think you were at my house. You tell me if you remember this.
Okay.
I have a photo of it. I'll send it to you later. My parents' house in 2012.
Oh, I know
I was
exactly where you're going. Yes,
I
I
was
was
dressed up
there.
as Princess Leia and I had that trash can and I was talking to R2D2.
Yes.
Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope.
Yeah. You did the sock buns. It was the first time I had ever seen socks
I
utilized
forgot
as
about that.
yeah, the buns. I
That's
had
how we did
completely forgot about that too. Yeah, but that is a very core memory of mine. Because it was like one of the first times that like we hung out, like not in an event. It feels
it.
like where I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like getting to know this person.
Yeah. This is just like regular life stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know why. My dad sent it to me a little while ago in a text, and I saved it and I looked at the data on the photo, and that photo was from 11 p.m. and I was like, why were we
Was it
doing
really that
this?
late?
I
Oh,
was
see,
like,
I
this
don't
is
remember the lateness of it. That felt earlier
it's
in the
pitch black. It's
evening.
pitch black in the
Oh,
thing.
that's funny.
Like 11 p.m.
Oh, that
Um
okay. I don't remember that part. Time is so weird.
it is so weird. But yes, so I think I've been like thanking my inner nerd and like, like thank you for having this as like a resource and like a thing
Yeah.
inside of me that feels like there is a hope. And I think that maybe that's also to another one of those things of like leaning into like art
Yeah.
as resistance, right? Like I have
Mm-hmm.
this piece of art, this whole, world of art that I can hold on to like help me get through a time.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, humans are storytellers for a reason. Oh, I did lose
Bye.
you that time. See you later. Can't be bothered. Gravity. I'm not moving. I refuse. Ingrid's all snugged up against my thigh. I have this fresh air. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm gonna get you one of those, like a little tiny desk that's like on wheels,
I
just
do
like
need
for a
that.
laptop. Yeah.
You know what? If I was a professional, maybe I'd think those things through. But I'm flying by the seat of my
What does
pants.
that mean, Tiffany?
I'm just
Can we break
tumbling
that
down the
down?
hill.
We're all tumbling down the hill.
Lins
We
akimbo.
we just this is why we have these conversations. Because then other people can be like, "Oh, hey, here's this thing." And then you can be like, "Thanks."
Yeah, that's where I've been. Just tumbling down the hill.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I am trying.
We're all doing our best. I would love to tell you a little bit
Mhm.
about an update on that thought experiment that you gave me with shopping.
Yeah, I would love an update about that because all I've been thinking about is daydreaming and coming up with new worlds, and I feel like this is a portal for that.
Also, the Pythia Botanica has been resourcing me like no other this week
It's a
with
sun lamp.
these messages. Like I just absolutely, but it's been like I got the card yesterday, Ella campaign, which is
Mhm.
reverie.
I
And it's
really love that one.
like dreaming with unnamed purpose, like wander and muse, rant and confuse. Like, and I'm just like, fuck, yes, like,
Mhm.
um, yes. So yes, we are leaning into the dreaming. So on Wednesday, I was scheduled to have a Reiki session,
Mm.
um, with Brienne, but she was not up to facilitating it. And so I was like, absolutely. And then we both were like, can we just get together and like make some art?
Mhm.
And so that's what we did. And it was so nice to like this is just another thing of reinforcing what we were already saying. We
Yeah.
have this community, we have these supports, we can just show up and like cry together and talk and just sit there and like make art. And so that was amazing. And to have that. And then on my way home, I was like, well, I don't technically need to be. I took like the whole afternoon off, and I was like, I don't have to go home straight away. Let me just go to this. I went to Plato's,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm just gonna look for jackets. So
Mhm.
I just had it in my head, and I was like, I'm not gonna do the thing where I try like a million things on. I'm just gonna. I feel fine to like look for some jackets because I am using jackets instead of sweaters and
Mm.
I'm leaning into it. And then I got there and I like started pulling some things out and I checked in with myself and I was like, okay, I've got some jackets. I was like, do I feel like looking at anything else? And I did. And so like I pulled a few more things. And then I was like, okay, well now I need to I pulled some things that were like, oh, these are ridiculous.
Mhm. That's the
And
play.
yep. And then I got to the back where they had like a bunch of fancy dresses and I was like, okay. I pulled out this I can't remember which ones I sent you photos of, but I pulled out this it was like a white low cut sequined
Mhm.
dress.
That was
Oh
one of the
my
ones you
god.
sent me, and the pink
Oh
one.
my and then a bright pink
Uh-huh.
one. And I tried those on and I wanted that white dress so bad.
You looked so
Like
good in it.
I wanted it so bad, but it was highlighting some areas of my body that I'm having a really hard
Uh,
time with. And so I was like, it's not for me right now. And then I put that pink one on, and that pink one, it, it didn't highlight any of it. I was like, oh, this dress was like, this is the shape for my
mm,
body. And I was like standing there and I was like, what do I do? I was like, do I
do
want
I do?
to take this home with
Yeah.
like, and it was just so, I think like having all of those things, um, it helped to make the process feel like way less daunting
Mm,
because I was trying on a bunch of things that I didn't want, I didn't need, along with things that I was looking for. And I found that like, so this is the second time that I've practiced this.
mhm.
And it feels like it takes the pressure off of the things that I do want and I'm
Mhm.
looking for, like when they don't fit or work out. I'm
Yeah.
just like, let me just try this and see what happens.
Mhm.
And then I was like, this dress is $10. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. It was that thing of like, what am I going to do with it? When am I going to wear it? But then also the thing of, well, the occasion is now. Like
Yeah.
life is now.
You can
It
literally wear
is
it whenever, however you
whenever I
want.
want. Like I'm gonna like I can get it to play dress up if I just like.
Mhm.
And I was like, the I think like the elation that I felt when I like had this like silky like dress on, and then I got these two faux leather jackets. And I was like, let me put this leather jacket on over
Hell
top of this
yeah.
like little pink dress. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I need a photo shoot, please. I need to see this jacket with the dress because you didn't show me any of the jackets. And I'm obsessed with that combo.
Yeah.
You know what it's doing? It's screaming back to my 90s aesthetic, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do you remember
Hmm.
that era
I
where it was like these really delicate feminine pieces with these like edgy,
yeah.
it was like very like post grunge, like, well,
I'm
not even
thinking
post
like
grunge. It was in the grunge era.
yeah, I'm thinking like a soft little dress with like flowers on it
Yeah, but with
and
combat
like
boots.
combat boots. Yes.
We are of an age. I still
That's
love that aesthetic. It's my
yes.
favorite. Something
Yeah.
delicate with something so just heavy and tough. Oh, I love it so much.
That's what I felt like. I think like it felt like it was like giving me power
Yep.
in a way that I was like, this is what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that feels so good. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
it's
you for
not black.
I know. I was like, what is this? I This is the first time I have had bought a color garment since I I
Like,
don't know.
yeah, I can't remember. Because, like, I remember through the pandemic you were wearing less black, but they were neutral colors. I don't
Right,
remember you
yeah.
buying
Like
anything that was,
I have some grays and I have some
yeah,
like a couple like whiter off whites, but
neutrals. Yeah.
yeah. I uh yeah, I rem I remember when I bought my black wardrobe to go to a job, and that was
Mm.
in 2016. But
Whoa.
that was before I did like the whole like purges and everything. So I still had the rest of my wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like that was the point in time where I was like, oh, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I love that. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Me too. I'm very interested to see how this like
I mean, no
shapes up.
pressure, but when we hang out, it would be really cool if you wore that dress.
Okay.
I'm just giving
Can
you
I
an idea of when you could wear it. It's when you see me because I think that would be cute.
Thank you. Can I cook you dinner in it? I'll tell you
That sounds
another
so
one.
romantic.
Another one of my daydream things is I think maybe every time I make this dinner that I made last night, I envision that I'm like cooking it for you. Like I want to make you this dinner.
That is so cute. Oh, I'm actually tearing up. That's really cute. Oh,
Yeah, so every time I like make it and I eat it, I think about like having it with you.
I love the way you love me.
And so I would be delighted to cook it in a little pink dress.
I could help.
Okay.
I love helping
Th
in the kitchen.
This it's really easy.
Oh, great.
So I think it would be, yeah, it would be good.
Okay. Well, now we have a plan. Now you know when you're going to wear that dress. At
Uh-huh.
least one instance in which you're going to wear that dress. We'll come up with
Uh-huh.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to know what the food is?
Oh, sure. Yeah, please.
I can't remember where I found the recipe,
Mm-hmm.
but it's on one of those sites that you have to have a subscription to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, but I had like saved it to Notion and Notion pulled the page into my Notion. So I was
Nice.
like, oh, hell yeah. Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Notion.
Yeah.
Um, and I've like tweaked it a little bit, but essentially what it is um I can never say this word, gnocchi.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I just say gnocchi because
Oh.
I can't be fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's that. And but you have cherry tomatoes and cut red onion, and you put
Mm-hmm.
that all on a sheet pan with the
Mm.
pasta and toss it in like olive oil, salt, and pepper, and you roast it. And then and then the oh my God, there's a house finch couple sharing snacks in my window feeder right now.
Do
The
finches feed each other, or do they
the
just?
absolute sweetest.
Okay, I love
Yes.
that. I haven't seen finches do it, but I've watched cardinals feed each other,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah,
very
they just,
sweet.
oh my God, she just flew away. It's so sweet.
Oh,
So
well, we're
then the red
talking about love, so we might as well have the and food. We're talking about love and food, and the finches were like, "We heard."
we're here. Yes, both. Yeah. So the recipe calls for it's like a pasta, but it's like a salad. And they use arugula. And I don't love
Mm,
arugula, but I do like it in this case. So
I
the
always like
salad
arugula.
so the salad base is, well, we usually sometimes we do arugula or sometimes I do like a mixed
Yeah.
green. But it's that and then fresh basil, which is
Yeah.
absolute Parmesan, and then you toss the baked stuff in like
Oh, that
in
sounds
with it.
nice.
And it calls for like roasting garlic and making like a garlic lemon little like drizzle, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been doing that. I've just been using like a vinaigrette dressing.
Yeah.
And it's one of my most favorite things, and it's so easy. Like
Yeah,
you
that
don't have
sounds
to
really good.
you only have to cut the onion and then like wash the basil, but like everything else is just like toss it on
Yeah. Oh, that
and it's
sounds
good.
delicious.
And then I usually make garlic bread with it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds such a comfort meal. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you're right. I do want to eat that with you.
Yay! I thought so.
You know me.
I thought. Yeah. So we'll do that.
Okay, deal. I love that idea.
Deal.
Ingrid's also happy about it. She's full belly up right now.
Mm,
Just in a little sun patch, belly up.
that's a good happy cat.
Yeah, she also likes comfort food. Oh, wow. We're okay. So we're really shedding today.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. I was rubbing her belly and a whole like chunk of hair came up with my hand. Guess we're going through another round of that. Seasons are very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good girl. Belly up. Oh.
I'm thinking about those little almost like a felted thing that people make out of their cat hair. Make
Mm-hmm.
like a little mini cat out of it.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, it was Babs. Babs also used to shed really intense because she was kind of similar to Ingrid, where they're short-haired cats, but they just have like this really dense undercoat where it's almost like a thick down. So when you brush them, like you get
Mm-hmm.
a mat of basically felt. And she was shedding so much, and I was like brushing her and brushing her, and it just kept on coming out. And I sculpted a weird little cat shape. I didn't fully felt it, but I told her it was her baby, and I was just like meow meow meow. But I could never do that with Ingrid because she would immediately try to eat the hair. Because she has a weird thing where when she sees her own hair clump, she feels like she needs to attack and eat it.
I mean, that's
Um,
what Zero does. Like I have to when I'm brushing him and I pull it off the brush every
you
few
have to
things.
hide it.
I have to tuck it under my leg.
Yep, that's what I have to do with Ingrid. Why do they do that? It makes them sick. It makes no sense. Babs had the good sense to leave it be. She's just like, yeah, can't be bothered. It's not my, like, that's not my problem anymore. It's gone.
Babs.
I've been thinking about her a lot lately.
Mm.
My sweet kitty. I'm pretty sure she sent me Ingrid.
Oh.
It feels correct.
I think that she sent us Chloe.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She was a really powerful witch.
Yeah.
She still pops up in my meditations. In dream space. She's in dream space a lot.
Mm.
Not at first. Like after she first passed, she wasn't around for a while. But okay. I don't know if she wasn't around or I couldn't perceive it. Because I had so much guilt and depression after she passed because I felt like I should have known or I could have done something. The vet told me I couldn't. Like,
Yeah.
aggressive breast cancer is cancer. Like, what are you going to do? But everything was just so unexpected. So I felt a lot of confusing feelings. But now she's around all the time, which feels really nice.
That does feel nice. It feels special. That's like really hitting me right now. I think because um I did my favorite future visioning meditation this
Mm.
morning, and I went like 10 years in the future to my
Whoa.
house where like I've been to this house so many
Yeah.
times. Like I love this place, but at this point in time I was like, she's like, like who else is there? Like what and I was like, I can't. I was like, I have specific questions, like business related that I'm here for to talk to my future self. And I can't, I was like I cannot think about that, like Chloe's not gonna be here or like Zero's not gonna be here. Like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't uh but I got a lot out of that meditation, and it was nice to revisit a meditation in the morning where I was like, I'm not just doing this because I feel like I have to.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm doing this because this is what feels like I need this right now. And so like I was very present. I didn't fall asleep. I got exactly what I like needed out of it.
Proud of you.
Thank
Wow.
you. That was nice.
Would you mind sending me that meditation?
Yeah, I'll send it.
Okay. I think you might have sent it to me before, but I think it would be nice to revisit because it's something I have a really hard time with the future visioning
Mm-hmm.
stuff, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
But I think that since we've been talking so much about daydreaming and coming up with like different versions, I think that I need to practice that more, especially as I'm trying to make a major shift like in my personal life as well as the collective. I think I need to make dreaming a more consistent practice.
I like
Because
this one. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I like this one because she's very like, I think like the prompts that she brings up
Mm,
and like her voice is like it makes it so like you're so welcomed there by
mm,
your future self, and like they can't wait to talk to you and to hug you and to like welcome you. It's very like comforting.
mm. Yeah, that feels nice.
Yeah.
I would like that.
And it goes like some of the parts where you then like sit down and talk with yourself.
Hmm.
She gives you space, but then sometimes I feel like it's not enough space, so I just pause it for a little bit and
Oh,
then
smart. Yeah.
start it up again.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for years now. I like it. So I will definitely send it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Put it in the show notes.
I need help with dreaming.
you we were both practicing, and yeah.
Mm. Thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
We're doing it.
We are.